Hi, it's Johanna and welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd like to try and make you a video about what I can see here from the website, the history of Bourbon French perfumes. Just go through it with you because some people like to learn by reading on their own and some people like to listen or, participate even along with a video. So let me just go through it with you because I am extremely interested in this house. Why is it under the radar? Why are they only charging $40 a bottle? And I have personal interest in this house maintaining the way they seem like they've been doing business. I don't know anything. All I know, I don't know locally, like what people in New Orleans have felt regarding this house, or even if they know it. I don't know how big it is. All I know is it goes back to 1843 and it went through a few changes, like even in the name, Bourbon French. I don't think that's the original name it had, but like the way they handed it down to future perfumers and how there are even women in the list of perfumers, but not until okay, so let's see, hold on. So it's after Duchamp joined. Yes, so maybe I should go through, I can't pull out these dates for some reason. So something happened in 1973, but I think that was her granddaughter. So, yeah, this woman, she was 17 when she was hired. Her name was Marguerite Acker. And it was called Bourbon French Perfume Company then. All right, and so they were taking orders then. It says the shop prospered. New and more exotic fragrances discovered in Louisiana and Central and South America were added, and soon customers throughout the country and Europe were placing orders through the Bourbon French Perfume Company. The constantly growing business required more help, and 17-year-old Marguerite Acker was hired to learn the art of perfumery. It doesn't say like how they knew her, The constantly growing business required more help. Okay. She quickly became Tyndall's star pupil. Okay, so J.H. Tyndall is an earlier perfumer here. So she was taken under his wing and she became his star pupil when it became evident that she had been blessed with the le nez, or the nose. Marguerite, who could correctly identify the ingredients of any perfume from its scent, was soon blending new scents as well as improving existing ones. I get a little teary-eyed when I hear about it. A young woman already knowing what she wants to do and finding out how she can meet people that can help her with that, And J.H. Tyndall, he was a man. He gave her a shot. So then several years later, Marguerite married Beauregard Caro. Beauregard. I haven't seen that in a long time. A prominent watchmaker. And the perfumes developed on Royal Street were distributed under the Caro label. Marguerite bought the business on very favorable terms in recognition of her year's faithful service. So she bought it from J.H. Tyndall. Wow, she started working for him when she was 17, and she was able to buy the whole business from him. Sorry. Obviously wishful thinking on my behalf. That would be great. And the perfumery continued growing and attracting the attention of connoisseurs everywhere. In 1973, Marguerite's granddaughter, Alessandra Crane, inherited the Bourbon French Perfume Company. So like names like Alessandra, they have a fragrance by that name. And I don't have it though. I have this one called Anastasia. This one's really vanilla-y with some spices and musks. Very vanilla-y and soft, quite like a cloud. Yeah, it's very soft. It's kind of like a really well-made pastry, fresh, like you could probably only get in a French bakery. Yeah, really light and fresh. And like these, a lot of these fragrances, I feel like I think of them as a gourmand. Like a lot of them have a lot of gourmand to them. Like it might be like spicy gourmands, like spices, or it might be like vanilla. They use it, but they don't make it the same way somebody else is using vanilla in fragrances these days. The more current or contemporary gourmands are way different than these. Like these are kind of more like subtle, like grow on you. Like I would say this is slow food type of fragrances. Slow food, not fast food, it's like slow. And yeah, so all the fragrances are kind of like a medium intensity within that. There is like lighter fragrances, like, the sweet olive is lighter, but they still have like a gravitation towards a central base that's very substantial in there. You're held by the oils that are there in your skin when you spray it on. That's how I think of it. But maybe I'm just falling into the hype. There's not really any hype though. But then, so her granddaughter, Alessandra, it turned out, had inherited much more than a business from her grandmother. She had also been given le nez, or the nose in French. Alessandra's creations bear such names as Voodoo Love. She created Voodoo Love. Now, that was originally started by this other woman, but it was totally inspired by this other woman's potions. But Alessandra is the one who created Voodoo Love. Voodoo Love. It's super gourmand, but it's very more like what some people use like Victoria's Secret for, in terms of like what kinds of attention they want to have at whatever time of life it is. Voodoo Love reminds me of a old-fashioned version of it. Like these are, like I said, old-fashioned gourmands. Well, these are old-fashioned like takes on things. Like, yeah, like Voodoo Love, I do think, it's something happening probably somewhere like New Orleans. And, it's beautiful. And it says on Fragrantica, this is earthy. And let me see. Yeah, it was kind of different from what I experienced. This is soft for me, soft and very like maybe slightly vanillic, something very warm. And oh man, like I really can't say it's for sure more feminine than masculine. They're marketing it as unisex. And I don't know how different it performs on men and women, but it's a softer, more sweet fragrance in my mind. I'm going to look it up now. All right, so the main accords are earthy, amber, cinnamon, and warm spicy. So yes, it says here the nose behind the fragrance is Alessandra Crane. And the notes are earthy notes, amber, and cinnamon. It doesn't smell like earthy in the way that it's like dry, or I guess it doesn't have to be dry earth, to be honest. It's a picture of sprouting seeds. But I don't smell wow, what I normally think of as earthy. You know what though? This reminds me of a perfume oil. I don't remember. It was at Whole Foods probably 20 some years ago. And this slightly reminds me of it. That one was called Persephone's Flowers. And I think it had some Lily of the Valley, but I don't know what else it was. I never smelled anything like it since. In fact, I think I still have the bottle, but it doesn't have a smell. Anyway, I haven't been able to track it down. I think it says like the house or something like ancestral something or magical something. I don't know. Maybe these companies, come and go. too. So probably if you had the old oil, it wouldn't perform or even smell anymore. So I keep doing this. Yes. Okay. So I keep, for some reason, instinctually, I kept trying to turn it tighter here, but you only do that if it's not a crimped sprayer. And most commercial fragrances are crimped where you can't just take it off or unscrew it. But there are a few houses that do it this way and it's like refillable. But then you can also get like frauds, you know, people putting something else in the original bottles when they're empty. But I don't worry about that. I don't worry about that part. I just think that, you know, well, I just try to make sure it's always screwed on because I don't want it leaking for me. So yeah, so it is a screw off. It is a screw off. You know, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if that's like comes across as lower quality. Yeah, it's a screw off. These bottles and even the whole presentation, if you include the velvet pouches that all full bottles come in a velvet pouch. And it says their logo and it's really nice. And it's like heat pressed, I think, gold lettering on there. I don't have any right here with me, but yeah, so these are like pretty inexpensive bottles, and the bottles that, you know, what we're paying for them is also inexpensive. They're good quality. And you know, the label, some of these, there's actually a clear piece of tape band going right here to reinforce it being stuck onto the bottle. So it's almost like a piece of Scotch tape attaching it to the bottle so it doesn't come off. So these people really are putting all of our money into these fragrances. Yeah, because you can tell. You can look up these type of bottles and find them somewhere for less than, like, you know, less than $10, maybe even less than, yeah, maybe around $7 the bottle might have cost each. Yeah, I would say that's fair. And then the rest is the fragrance and the creation. I mean, they're not advertising. So really, I guess they're happy with the business that they have. And, you know, even if they don't advertise, or I don't even hear anyone. I searched on the perfume Facebook groups recently. I can't find anything mentioned of Bourbon French perfumes as any previous posts. And whenever I post anything, it's crickets for real. So the algorithm doesn't like me. So I gave up. I'm not investing my energy into that. If they don't want to respond to me or even read my post, then whatever. Later I see it posted by somebody else. Same words, but I'm not gonna get involved in social media. It's all out there. These algorithms, we don't have control of them. We can just try to pay attention and see what's happening. You know, I'll just accept every single person here on my channel and try to behave yourselves, of course, as usual. But, you know, I accept people here, and I'm hoping that we can all try to appreciate whatever this is that's turning into here on YouTube. Like, whatever this is, like, I'm hoping that we can continue to be here. I'm not getting paid. I don't have any promise of getting paid ever about this channel. I'm doing this because I really enjoy it, and it gives me an outlet, a creative outlet, and a way to share my collection, which is constantly growing because I guess I'm a collector. So I have to accept that like these no buys I go on, it's just more of a dry out period. TBH, it's more of a dry out period. How in the world can I ever intend to never buy another perfume bottle in my life? Like, I think I'll probably be buying stuff until after I die. Yeah, I'm going to have shelves, definitely shelves, and I'm slowing down because I have a lot to digest. I got several Avons. I got some like vintage Jovan, musk, and then like some floral added. I got a few of those bottles, and I got a spray bottle. It's like a 2.5 ounce spray of white linen by Estee Lauder. And I really like that fragrance. I had a small Parfum bottle for that fragrance. And it was a love. It was a love. It was not what I would think anything close to fresh, clean linens. No, I personally experienced that fragrance as quite dirty and animalic, but also floral and also nice. And I think it would project well, especially after you'd worn it for a while. And I never had an experience of like smelling it on someone else. So all I do is like sort of like get whiffs of it from my own when I wear it. And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Well, let's see. Are we going to go back to the history? So what else is there? All right. So Alessandra, they don't say her last name here, but they did on Fragrantica. Her creations bear such names as Voodoo Love, Marguerite, named for her grandmother. Okay, so they do have one called Marguerite. I didn't know that. And then Mon Idylle, I'm saying that wrong, and Sans Nom. Well, I didn't even know about Sans Nom, and I've looked through all of them. And then next, Mary Alftoria Balar bought the shop from Alexander in 1991. I think they mean to say Alessandra. So, all right. And so this is now 3 women in a row owning this company. She also, this Mary Alftoria Balar, also had the gift of Lainez. She has continued the traditions of personal attention and imagination in developing new fragrances, traditions which began with Duchamp, which we didn't talk about because he was earlier. And we started partway down when I saw a woman's picture. Traditions which began with Duchamp, maybe the fragrance too, in 1843. Yeah, I think he was the first perfumer. And they do have a fragrance named after him. I talked about that fragrance, Duchamp, in a different video. I think it's a quintessential, if that's the right word for this, masculine fragrance for all ages. And I think it's like a really good all around. I'm not sure about weather and all of that. It's definitely, kind of towards an amber type of fragrance. So it's not like really light and fresh. She has continued the traditions of personal attention and imagination in developing new fragrances, traditions which began with Duchamp in 1843. Some of Mary's creations include Sesquissence. I have that, and I didn't tell you about it, but it is slightly fruity, but not enough for me. It's fruity sweet. Maybe tropical a little bit. Let me see here. It's a little powdery. There's some florals from the 1990s. Right, so Sesquissence was created to commemorate to celebrate Bourbon French Perfume's 150th year in business. She also created La Pluie, the Rain, Jardin de Cour, courtyard garden, Antonis, named for her father, and Electphoria, Mary's Greek name. Oh, there is a fragrance called Electphoria. Yeah, I don't think I have a sample of it yet. Mary has trained all her employees to help the customers choose the best essence for his or her body chemistry. There is always a custom blend specialist available to design a fragrance for men and women. Auguste Duchamp's perfume business has changed very little over the years. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I get this way. It's very hard to talk. Auguste Duchamp's perfume business has changed very little over the years. Fashions in perfume, as in clothing, do change from era to era, but the methods used in manufacturing fine fragrances remain constant. The fragrances brought from Europe by Duchamp and Tyndall and the ones developed here provide an extremely varied selection, all with the quality that has won the Bourbon French Perfume Company a lasting place in the history of New Orleans. The best methods are still in the simplest, the most direct, the most natural. At Bourbon French Parfums, all recipes are still made this way, mixed by hand in small batches, and judged at every step. Well, that was embarrassing. Come visit us at our Royal Street shop. Okay, so that's why there's not a lot of advertising, because they are interested in meeting their customers and helping them to pick either something that's already on the shelf or something that can be made for them. This is a very cool idea. Like, if I just happen to live in New Orleans, this would be amazing to drop by and like maybe offer to help out or something or other. But you know what? We could do something like this in Portland, Oregon. I don't know. All that customer service, that's a lot of work. That is a lot of work. You know, interacting. Okay, so you got the perfumers working, right? Creative, right? And also in tune with what's going on and what's liked. So they might even be able to like pay attention. Like maybe the perfumer is the one who, or maybe the perfumer is in the room when they do these consultations with you individually when you come there for your signature scent. Like they may have the same perfumer, but basically they're like talking to the customer and getting their sense of like what they're looking for and then making it right up for them. Yeah. So like it's about what people are coming in and wanting. And I bet that probably informs them over the years towards like the fragrances that they created. Oh, wait, hold on. So actually, this fragrance company, this perfume house, is probably been doing this all this time. The signature scent thing, you know, where they meet the customer and ask them what they like, and amongst the stuff that's already created, what their thoughts are, they're getting constant customer feedback. Then as the years go on, they are adapting the new fragrances that they come up with to all that information from making all those people's perfumes. They can make something like one single one that they made, or they can just be aware when they're creating it, like in the back of their mind, they're informed by this. They're doing like direct customer, they're getting like direct focus group type of thing from doing this service to their clients. You know what? It makes me kind of wonder why anybody else isn't all doing this. Like, to me, this is probably better than trying to totally set trends out of nowhere. I don't know if it happens at like major perfume houses where they're creating and using the perfumer to like, you know, do these kinds of consultations. Maybe they do to some extent, but I've never heard of it happening. So I don't know all of that, but this sounds like this is a whole mode that they use in their business, in their perfume business. And they're probably, like I said, their creation. So I will definitely be talking about them more. I mean, I mentioned briefly plumeria. This is a flower, and you may or may not have ever smelled a plumeria. I should spray. It's not, I don't smell well from there. I mean, it's really light. Oh yeah. Oh my. There's like a fleshy aspect to this, scent, like a fleshy flower. And again, this reminds me of something from the 1960s that was in my relative's home. These kinds of smells and potpourri or whatever. Yeah, there's something very waxy and waxy about this fragrance. And it seems pretty photorealistic, I would say. If you like plumeria, you probably like this. Probably if you like white gardenia. If you like white gardenia, you're probably going to like this. Yeah, you will. And there's this waxy, fleshy quality to this too. I don't know what they're using. It could be an aldehyde to bring forward the floral and the like textural aspect of the florals. Yeah. All right, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.